Hello, my fellow scientists. Welcome to another episode of Science is Everywhere, the home edition. My name is Marie Leica, and I'm with the Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose. And we're going to continue today in celebration of National Physical Fitness and Sports Month, as well as our Healthy Moves and More program. There are just so many reasons to keep ourselves moving, to keep ourselves active. And that goes right into what I would like to talk about today. Today, I would like to talk all about energy, and more specifically, potential, kinetic, and one I'm not going to give away right away. Okay, wait. Now, to use a sports comment, timeout. Marie, you're already throwing words at us. What do those two types of things mean? Well, let's take a look at a real life situation where these things would make sense.
All right, my fellow scientists. Anyone out there a roller coaster fan like me? Hopefully there's a few of you. Okay, if you're not a roller coaster fan, that's perfectly okay. This will work for you too. So all you need to do is imagine watching one of these from far away. All right, so energy. Energy is the ability to do work. And we're not talking about what you're doing around the house in terms of like your chores. Work is, in this case, movement. So potential energy and kinetic energy, we're going to use this roller coaster to talk about those two things. So first of all, if you're on the roller coaster or if you're imagining it, you're going to go up that first hill. You're going to watch somebody go up that first hill. And then at the top, that is potential energy. That's the energy that's been stored up by being pulled up to the top of that hill. We have the ability from that stored energy to now do something else, okay? So your kinetic energy is your energy of motion. That's when you're going down the hill. So you're going to store up that potential energy by going to the top of that hill. And then once you start going down it, it is now kinetic energy, the energy of movement. Okay, so now that we've had that real life example, let's go ahead and go back to our experiment and see how we can look at potential and kinetic energy using our sports examples. Let's go.
Okay, so now that we've had an example of potential and kinetic energy, and you can kind of imagine what that might be like if you were to watch it or even to experience it, let's do a really simple activity in here using all kinds of different sports pieces of equipment. So you may notice I've got a running jacket on, go Boston. I also have a baseball bat here. I have a medium-sized ball. I have a small ball. And then I have cups. I have 3 to be specific. You may not be able to see those very well. So these are the things, at least on the floor, that you're going to need in order to do this first part of the experiment. Attire is whatever you'd like it to be. If you've got jerseys on at home, hockey fan, baseball fan, football fan, go for it. Whatever you want to do, we're in. All right. So how are we going to create potential energy and then change it over to kinetic? We're going to start really simple. So go ahead and you've got your, let's just start with our medium-sized ball. How about that? Put that right in front of you, really simple. So go ahead and do that now. Then take your bat, or if you have a golf club, hockey stick, like I said, whatever works for you, go for it. Now, because I'm in the house, I'm going to be mindful and make sure that I'm not creating too much potential energy and transferring too much kinetic energy. So what you're going to do is you're going to lift that object up. There's your potential energy because of its position. It has the potential, or it's stored up a whole bunch of energy now because it's going to be using gravity to come back down again. Okay, so potential energy, we're going to turn into kinetic energy and strike the ball. Let's do it together. You ready? Not too hard, right? Okay. So now what's this word right here? Why do I have that covered? That is what is happening with the two types of energy. So again, potential, kinetic. then what's happening? The bat or the club, whatever you have, is kind of stopping, and then the ball's starting to roll. That is transfer of energy. That's where the energy is going. So from the bat, up a little bit to the ball. Potential, kinetic, transfer. So you know we're not going to stop there. Let's make this a little harder. So let's go from that ball. Let's do a little transfer of energy this way. So put your smaller ball out there. You're going to want them in a line, and you may feel like you're doing miniature golf, and that's okay. There's a lot of different energies happening there. Potential, transfer, kinetic, it's all happening there. All right, now I'm going to see if I can transfer the energy from the bat to the ball to the smaller ball. Okay, try this along with me. You ready? Okay, remember, not too hard because you may be in the house. Oh, you see that? Let's see that once in slow-mo. Okay, so let's make it a little bit harder. You've got your 3 cups, right? They make a perfect little structure for us to transfer our energy to. So go ahead and put 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. If you have more cups and want to make it bigger, by all means. Just remember that whatever mess that we make, we have to clean up. Sometimes that's not the fun part. All right, so again, I want to transfer my energy all the way from the bat, the potential energy that I make from that ball to that ball into those cups. I'm hoping that amount of energy will actually knock them down. All right, here we go. Ready? Okay, go ahead and line up. Create that potential energy. Here we go, transfer. Oh, well, I got most of them to move. So, that's one way to show potential, kinetic, and the transfer of them. What are some other ways? I highly recommend, if you can, to take this part of the experiment outside. It's a whole lot safer there. It's also a whole lot cooler there. All right, I'll put my bat away for now. I'll put my cups away as well. And I'm going to keep the 2 balls with me. All right, first of all, let's get that out of the way. Take your medium-sized one. Now, I just have one that's not too squishy. This is more of like a massage one, so not too much into it. But if you have a soccer ball or a basketball, that type of thing, those work as well. Not so much a football. That's a whole other idea. But, okay, here we go. So I'm just going to drop this about that high. Just hold it straight out in front of you. Okay, and we're going to drop it. Ready? Go ahead. Okay. Do you notice how far up it bounced? Try it again. Okay, same height. And go ahead and look down this time and watch how far it bounces. Okay. So there's its potential. Let it go kinetic. And then it bounces off of the ground, transferring that energy. Some of that goes there. All right. Try this now with your smaller one. And hopefully you have a tennis ball at home that works best. Same thing, hold it about the same height. Okay. Potential, kinetic. Okay. You see how far up that went ahead and traveled? Now what would happen if I put those 2 energies together? You ready for this? What do you think is going to happen before I do anything? There's still going to be that transfer of energy. All right, let's find out. Okay, so before they didn't bounce that high, right? Maybe about yay tall. All right, here we go. Drop this and see what happens. Whoa! Did you see that? Okay, let's see it one more time, slowed down. What did you notice? Your top one bounced higher. Why? Think about your potential, your kinetic, and your transfer. When you're doing this, you now have potential of the 2, right? When you drop it, there's kinetic of the 2. But when it hits the ground, all of the energy is transferred to this top one because it's making impact with the ground. That's why it bounces higher. Okay, now this is especially cool to see when you're outside. So where do we do this experiment, scientists? Outside, outside, outside. Make sure it's outside. Also make sure it's somewhere safe. So your backyard is usually the best. If you don't have that type of area, then definitely make sure that it's something that's a little bit more clear. Again, you want to make sure that, number one, you're safe in your environment, and number two, that the folks around you are safe as well. All right. So you know from previous experiments, we usually don't stop there. So let's increase this experiment just a little bit more, shall we? You ready for this? Let's get one more piece of sports equipment. Oh yeah, we're going there. You guys know what this is? This is a yoga ball. If you have one of these, this would be really cool to use outside. You can also use your soccer balls, your basketballs, those work as well. But this could be fun because it's bigger. It may have some more kick to it. So taking a look, now mine has a sandbag in the bottom, and that's so it doesn't roll around. So if I set it down, kind of hard to roll. So it's a little bit weighty on the bottom, but let's see still how it bounces all by itself, okay? Here we go. Not too much, right? Pretty much goes straight down, maybe up a little bit. Let's try it one more time. And if you have a bigger ball like this, again, go for it. Just make sure, where do we do this experiment? That's right, outside. Don't do what I'm doing. Okay, still not bouncing too high. Quick review. Here's the tennis ball, same height, about knee level for me. All right, so now we noticed when we put the two together, that tennis ball got all of the energy transferred to it, right? So what if we do this? You guys ready? I'm gonna back up just a little bit. And again, this the best place to do this is outside, if I haven't said that enough. Here we go. Whoa! All right, let's try that one more time. You can see it in slow motion. You ready? That touched the ceiling. If I was outside, it probably would have gone higher than that, but it's much higher than my knees. So potential energy was here, kinetic energy was dropping, transfer of energy into this little guy, and he went pretty high. We unfortunately don't have a backyard, otherwise I'd love to do this out there. So that's all about energy today. There's energy all over the place, especially in sports. So hope you had fun with this. Again, try this outside, especially if you have a larger one. Really cool to see how high you can get. And go ahead and post pictures. We would love to see what your experiment looked like and what sports equipment you ended up using. So thanks again for your time, ladies and gentlemen, scientists, and we will see you next time at Science is Everywhere. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you for watching our virtual Purple Museums broadcast. If you're enjoying this content, please consider making a donation to support our efforts. Our broadcasts are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Stay in the loop by joining our email list by visiting www.cdm.org. Sign up today.